Hello everybody, my name's Shalise. Welcome out everybody to my rankings of the AntMan movies. Here's the thing, I just got into AntMan this last month. I saw the first movie, I absolutely loved it, and it turns out there are 4 other movies of AntMan. 4 movies that deals with AntMan. One is a spinoff of one character from one of the movies, and I want to watch them all. Now here's the thing, I have the personal opinion that AntMan should never had sequels. I'm at the opinion that you hit lightning for the first time with your movie, and it was an instant classic. So we all know what my number one is. Just to be clear, number one is definitely AntMan, the first one. But I never truly agreed with the fact that he needed a sequel. He needed to finish it. I just didn't agree with the decision making to have a AntMan 2, a 3, a 4, a Master Z. I didn't really want it. Now that I've watched them all, I'm still of the opinion that you still struck lightning with the first movie, but that's my personal opinion. But let's start off with the worst of the bunch. And the worst of the bunch is AntMan 4, the final one. What happens? AntMan 4 deals with AntMan himself coming to America because his son is a troublemaker at school, and he needs to get his son into a good school that will take him. The thing is, though, during this time, he goes to America, the Chinese people over there that have their own martial arts schools is different from them in America. And it deals with the fact that Bruce Lee is teaching Western people about their martial arts, about Chinese martial arts, which the old Chinese guard don't want that. They didn't want that stuff. They don't believe foreigners should learn about their techniques, about their specialities. They don't want people to know it. They don't want it to be taught. Bruce Lee opened that door, and since Bruce Lee was trained by AntMan, they are kind of giving AntMan shit, and they're not gonna let him. Gonna let his son be approved to get, the recommendation letter and all that stuff. So a lot of backstage stupid politics. The thing is, what I don't like about this movie is the same old shit. It's the same old shit. Oh, there's some prejudice against the Chinese people. And then after the prejudice with the Chinese people, there's this American military dude. Because here's the thing. One of Bruce Lee's students wants to teach Chinese Kung Fu, not Chinese Kung Fu, Wing Chun, basically in the military. But the problem is, though, they are the Americans. They don't want it. They think their martial arts is better, and so they teach this lesson by beating up all the Chinese martial art masters in America, and then it's up to AntMan to save the day once again. And I don't agree with it. I don't agree. We had the same old story. We had the same story beforehand, except he was fighting a British boxer in AntMan 2. I don't believe in redoing the same story. So to me, AntMan 4, for the final end of AntMan, who's dealing with cancer, to me, this was just a okay movie. This was nothing special. This was not the greatest epic ending you're going to get for AntMan and his character. So AntMan 4, to me, bottom of the barrel, my least favorite. I gave it a C. I don't care for AntMan 4. I don't care that he's fighting a foreign guy again, and he's now standing up once again for the 4th movie in a row, for the Chinese honor. No, thank you. I'm sorry, I'm done with that. That you had in so many other movies, and so much better movies that he was a part of, and that we didn't need a 4th movie in a row of this stuff. So to me, AntMan 4. I don't want to say it's a terrible ending. It's just the same old rinse and repeat stuff. So AntMan 4, number 5. Number 4, I'm going to give to AntMan 3. Now, I know a lot of people like, some of them don't like AntMan 3. I think AntMan 3 is not that bad. I give it a B-. The thing is, though, with AntMan 3, here's the thing. There is 2 plot lines. There's 2 plot lines. One, there's this one school in Hong Kong that this American guy, Mike Tyson, basically, he wants, I want this school. So he's going to hire a Chinese gang to arrest this school principal and to beat him up. Lo and behold, AntMan must now defend that school with his fellow students and all that stuff. So he's protecting that school from the students. He goes one-on-one Mike Tyson for the first half. And the other half of the story, it deals with one guy who's going to be in a Master Z movie named, let me make sure, Tin Chi. Tin Chi, he's follows the same type of martial arts such as AntMan, but he wants to be better than him. He wants to be known as being the best. So he later on starts to get a little bit of fame about his character, and then he starts to fight against AntMan. for that title. So there's two storylines, two different plot lines that Ant-Man must do. But the better storyline that there is not about him fighting. It's all about his relationship with his wife, who is dying of cancer. And that is what makes Ant-Man 3 watchable. I know it's all for martial arts and it's for entertainment, but to me, this was just a blatant cash grab because Mike Tyson wanted to be in this film and he fought against Ant-Man. So to me, I'm not a big fan of... I'm not the greatest fan of Ant-Man 3, but I really do enjoy the character moments that he had with his wife, who was dying of cancer. So Ant-Man 3, number 4. Now, number 3 is Ant-Man 2. Now, I know I'm making fun of how it's called, but Ant-Man 2 is just... To me, I was always... Again, Ant-Man 1 is my favorite of the martial art movies so far that I've seen. And... No, starting on Enter the Dragon. But yeah, Ant-Man, probably favorite martial art movie of all time. Ant-Man 2, a lot of people compare this to Rocky 4. And this is basically a Chinese version of Rocky 4, except better. And this one, Ant-Man has left his home, and now he's going to Hong Kong. But in order to do so, in order for him to open up a martial arts school, he has to defeat the Chinese masters there. So he defeats most of them, except for one, that he got like a tie, and then they welcomed him, but they asked for a little fee. And him and this one guy, this one Chinese master, don't get along too well, but they eventually grow to respect one another. The thing is, though, there's this English boxer who comes around, and he's basically, all the Chinese people are being paid to lose, and he's just being very disrespectful, kind of like how Dragon from freaking Rocky 4 was being disrespectful to Americans. It's the same scenario. You got the foreigner insulting the people of this native land, and then the big master, one of the big stars of either side of the country, they fight against them. They eventually die, and then the star of the show, whether it's Rocky, whether it's Ant-Man, needs to save the day and regain the honor of their nation. Ant-Man 2 was to me better than Rocky 4. I mean, Rocky 4 I don't really care for. I think it's one of the most overrated movies of all time. I gave it like a B-. This one I want to give a solid B. This was a good film. I don't hate it. I don't love it. But to me, Ant-Man 2 was just a solid film. The action scenes were really well done. I did enjoy the character that was against Ant-Man at the beginning of the film. I did enjoy this film. I just... Again, and when you compare it to the... Maybe I'm not loving Ant-Man 2 as much because I feel like there shouldn't have been a need for another Ant-Man movie. But Ant-Man 2, good film. It was a good film, but not my favorite. I enjoyed it definitely better than Ant-Man 4, then literally enjoyed it better than Ant-Man 3, but to me, this was not my favorite one. Sorry, Ant-Man 2 fans, not my favorite. Number 2 is going to be Master Z or Ant-Man's Legacy. Now, Master D, the movie deals with Tenchi. Tenchi is a character from Ant-Man 3, the one who fought against Ant-Man, and eventually, he loses, obviously, because Ant-Man's never going to lose a dang fight. So, he lost that fight to Ant-Man. And what happens? Well, he stopped practicing Wing Chun. He stopped practicing it. He stopped practicing the martial arts that he's been trying to be the best at. He basically quits being a martial artist. He opens up a regular a store and all that stuff with his son. He's just trying to take care of his son, trying to live a normal life. He's trying to go for a simple life. Now there's this one group of gang, this one gang that is basically terrorizing the people and all that stuff. And there's a situation where Tenchi needs to go defend some innocent bystanders, and in doing so, they burn Tenchi's freaking house. They burn his house to the ground. Now, this is what I like about Tenchi's character. He's not like Ant-Man. Ant-Man's more noble. Like, if you burn Ant-Man's house down, Ant-Man's just gonna go to your house and beat you up. Tenchi's the type of dude that's, okay, you burn my house down, I'm gonna burn your business up. You try to kill me and my son, I'm gonna burn your place down. He's a much darker and less restrained version of Ant-Man, which I do enjoy. I do enjoy Tenchi as a character. I think he's a very unique character. And I really did enjoy his film because I enjoyed his character. Tenchi... During this time, he is lost. He doesn't have a house. He's one of the pedestrians that he helped, one of the civilians that he helped. Her brother owns this place. He starts working there. He starts to slowly fall in love with the woman, too. And there's just a lot of great storylines of him just having a new family. He gets to like the girl's brother, the guy who he works for. He respects the people around. He doesn't not only respect the people around him, but he sits at dinner tables with him. His son gets to have like a mother figure in his life, because again, his I don't think they ever truly explain, but Tenchi's wife is never truly around. Maybe she died during childbirth. I'm not 100% sure about if they mentioned it. Maybe I missed that part, because again, I'm American. I read the subtitles, but maybe I missed that part where they explained Tenchi's just a single father. And why is he a single father? We don't know what happens to Tenchi's wife's the mother of his child. I don't know where she's at. But I really did enjoy this character, Tenchi. I liked his growth. And the thing is, though, the problem is, though, this gang is always persistent on attacking, the civilians in this entire, place that Tenchi lives in. And the thing is, though, there's the one gang, there's a brother who is basically related to Michelle Yeoh's character. Michelle Yeoh's character, you don't know what Michelle Yeoh is. She's been in a lot of Hollywood films, and she's a great actress, and she is trying to make this gang become legitimate. Her brother does not. Her brother wants to become he wants to become the authority figure. He wants to be number one, and he is in conflict with his own sister. And then there's this storyline where he's trying to get connected with an American businessman who deals with drugs, and then deals with drugs into the neighborhood, and it goes through a very dark turn, and ultimately it comes to a revenge story, and it goes with Dave Bautista versus Tenchi. And the thing is, a lot of people are like, well, you complained about the Mike Tyson situation. Here's the thing. I complained about the Mike Tyson situation because it was the same old character fighting against, and I thought it was a Hollywood cash grab. And it just felt like, okay, why is Mike Tyson in the film? Mike Tyson, what is he going to do all day? He's not really into a lot of movies. He's just there for like a freaking cameo. He probably just did it because the movie was popular and he wanted to get there, and then they did it for a cash grab. Master Z just feels like a nice character progression for the character, and it didn't. And Dave Bautista's character didn't feel like he was like overstepping his bounds, like he was the star of the show. To me, the star of the show was Tenchi and his character, and the growth of meeting not meeting this family, but to basically be having a family, discovering his love again for Wing Chun, and basically letting go of his past and for his loss for AntMan. So there's so many things I love about Master Z. Master Z is utterly fantastic. This to me was the best sequel to, or spinoff to, the original AntMan. So number 2 is Master Z. Number 1 I'm going to give to AntMan. Now, this is what I love about this film. At the beginning of AntMan, you got China at the beginning of his time. All these martial arts schools are around, and everybody's always competing against each other. Some thugs come in, challenge all the masters of martial arts in China. They beat them, but they cannot beat AntMan. And I love the picture of how it's so colorful. And then later on, when the Japanese invade, it goes to this grayscale dark. Smoke is everywhere. It is no longer the flowers are blooming. It's just a very impactful film, and it's just so heartbreaking. And it really does something about China. People say this is Chinese propaganda. Of course it is. It's for its country, and it's beautifully, breathtakingly done. I was utterly, when shit hit the fan, when you know a man is being brought down to the bottom of the pit, and when he's being unleashed to his full extent of power, or even not even close to full extent, and it's just simply amazing. AntMan, the first movie, easily one of my favorite films of all time. I just recently saw this film, and I want to see it again. I'm going to buy this and Master Z. So if you want to know my grades, AntMan, the first movie, A+. Master Z, A-. AntMan 2, B. AntMan 3, B-. And AntMan 1, AntMan 4, a C. So to me, the best movies are when it deals with the character themselves, and they don't rinse and repeat the same freaking storylines for one specific character. So, and to me, people can say, oh, the martial arts wasn't that great in compared to other ones. AntMan 1 is obviously the best martial arts scenes that you're going to see, but the problem is, though, story is everything, and what the character is, and what's character-driven. And to me, I love AntMan, the character. I love Tenchi. I love these characters about their growth in the first, and they're both in their individual movies. I know there's going to be a sequel to Tenchi's movie. I'm not really looking forward to it, because, again, you're going to be milking it. Hollywood, or, and just in business in general, if they could get more money, we're going to be milking this shit as much as we can, because we want more money. And it doesn't matter if Master Z, again, I've seen the reviews of Master Z on freaking Rotten Tomatoes. What the hell were y'all thinking? Saying this is terrible. This was a great film. I know I'm defending Master Z, but Ant Man, Master Z, great films. Let me know what y'all think. What's your personal ranking of the Ant Man movies? What's your personal top 5, everybody? Please let me know what y'all think, everyone. I know I'm rambling on and all this stuff, but I'm so passionate and so excited when I saw these films. And I just gotta say, I loved Ant Man's character. And again, Ant Man character, if you don't know, he's the guy who trained Bruce Lee, for God's sake. You gotta see it. And I got my own personal opinion about the Bruce Lee movies that may not be popular, but I really did enjoy the Ant-Man movie, and I really enjoyed the universe they created. Even though I'm not a big fan of Ant-Man 4, the finale, Ant-Man 3, or Ant-Man 2 all too much. I enjoy Master Z, but what's your personal opinion, everybody? Please let me know what you all think of everybody. Name's Elise, Alfred, everybody. Bye.